So I'm Carmen Torres and Mariona Benedito. We are two of the 6 curators of the UIA World Congress of Architects. Pau Baget, Mariona, Maria Giramé, Pau Sarquella and Tomeu Ramis are also part of the team.
Well, it's interesting to compare because 30 years later, Barcelona in '96 was explaining itself as a model, for its urbanism and its public space, no? And right now we have Barcelona. We see Barcelona more as a place that also needs to rethink the way it is. There needs to be kind of a shift because we have urgent matters that we need to assess. No? We have gentrification, we have mass tourism. It's difficult to have a house in Barcelona, and it are problems that are not only happening in this city. No, are global problems. The thing that when we fix or we clean and we make the cities more beautiful, then we need to move out of them. Is something that we would like that this Congress addresses, and this is absolutely different to what was happening in 30 years ago. Apart from that, the speakers 30 years ago seemed to have all the knowledge on each of them. No? They were big names, kind of star architects, and so they were coming to explain their success, the really good projects that they were doing in their studios. And this was, of course, very interesting. But 30 years later, we have the internet, we have attend lectures by the architects that we admire, and we, as curators in this Congress, we propose that we learn something. We don't want to listen again to something we know, we want to learn something new, and that's why we are making a lot of the sessions are debates between 2 or 3 people. We need friction, we want to pose questions, and it's quite different to what happened in '96.
Yeah, I think that also in '96 they were talking about architecture in the cities, and we shifted the scale to the planetary scale, even if many of the projects that are being displayed are not territorial, some of them they are, but even if they are small projects, we think like the consequences of how we work, how we discuss, how we think are at the scale of the planet. We need to be aware of our acts in terms of planetary awareness.
I think we are quite surprised by the impact that this Congress is having in terms of participation. Right now, at the stage number 1, there's Ishigami with a capacity for 1,000 people that is full. And I went personally to check upstairs because there's other more than 6 stages going on, and it's also full. There's even queue in some of them, and I think this is fantastic. No, there is so much interest in what we have proposed. It's the moment when, after so long, and being so ambitious, and sometimes also like thinking, are we being too ambitious? Because there's really a lot happening at the same time, parallel. That maybe it's too much, but the reality proves that we weren't wrong.
I think, the transition, it's just understanding that we are in this kind of eternal situation of transition, like the life, it's not static, and specifically now we are facing many like environmental, social, technological, geopolitical crises, and we need to work with these situations, with this uncertainty. So it's more kind of a condition that not a final way that we are addressing, a final position.
Yeah, there is something that I think is the turning point, and it was said in the last session. I think it's about learning the fragility. No, architecture has been seen as something that proves shelter, something that is really like fixed, and this kind of stabilizing the reality maybe needs to be reassessed because nature has proven us wrong, no? And all these other problems, no? The geopolitical matters. We need to have more empathy, probably, with the planet. And there's a lot of things that we can modify, no? So I think that's the base. I don't know if I understand you correctly, but I think what we need is, I think what we are visioning is less certainties. So it means that architecture can provide conditions, but not only like built conditions, landscape, all the elements, energetic conditions for life to happen, and let others appropriate these structures, these elements that we are proposing. No? So I think that's also like a shift from the time that we live in, that things have to accept change, to accept the modification. And actually, for example, we will see this afternoon a lot of talks on never demolition, not demolition, rethinking, repurposing, adding on, no? That create based on what we have already. So accept that as a given and as something that is positive.
Now, we fully understand that it's a tricky question, but actually there is like many different types of tourism. And actually this kind of tourism, actually what we're trying to do, it's like coming together to face these issues and many other at the scale of the planet, inviting people from everywhere in the world to be able to address not only this but many other questions. It's true, but we are also talking about housing policies. We are discussing about climate change. We are discussing as many topics that we need to learn, because we don't know. We are not certain how to solve many of these issues. And it's something that we cannot do alone. So one person working alone on these topics is impossible that are able to manage. It needs to create like a culture. And to create this culture, we need to come together, we need to discuss, we need to find out how to address it in a collective way.
Well, our wish, and I think it will happen because people enrolled knowing what they were coming to listen, is that there is a consciousness, kind of by sharing our concerns, that we become more aware of the effects of our actions, of the ethics of the way we build. What materials are we bringing into our buildings? Why do we demolish or not demolish something? What is the carbon imprint of our actions as well? No? Or to take into account the other peoples, no? And of course, in times of conflict, this is how to organize so that we don't have this kind of conflicts, but also regarding animals or regarding the the environment, we have been neglecting. We have been acting in a very extractivist way, and maybe by giving us the time to think together during 3 days might provide at least seeds for a change in this sense.